that song.
Well, hello, merry pranksters. It is I, the Joker. I'm just filling in for Alistair, what's-his-name, while he's on vacation. He told me to talk about anything, so I decided to talk about everything. So here goes nothing. You know, it's funny, really. We live in a world of plastic people with plastic lives. Everything about our society is manufactured and sold as a product. And that's something that should scare everybody. But no. Everybody goes about their business like nothing's wrong. You watch your manufactured reality TV, you eat your processed food, you go to your hive with all the other little worker bees, and then you get up the next morning and do it all over again. You're bought and paid for by this farce we call a society. Freedom is pushed aside for security, hard work is pushed aside for instant gratification, experience is pushed aside for convenience, and all the while, the people that own you, lock, stock, and barrel, are laughing their way to the bank while your family can barely pay to make ends meet. And every time something goes wrong and battles are fought, it's not these men and women who fight for our freedom. When the rich wage war, it's the poor who die. And the rich just sit on their backsides and eat caviar while bombs go off in distant war-torn countries. They traded the bravery of soldiers for political power, and now they wield their might towards greater fortune. We put countless men and women in their graves for these weaklings. This current regime defiles their memories. The perpetual greed of the wealthy elite desecrates the graves of those who died so that we could live in peace and harmony. And barely anyone thinks about it. Barely anyone cares. It's a poetic tragedy. No, actually, it's a poetic joke. In this world, the concept of peace is naught but a false prophet. Peace is a nice idea, but like a lot of nice ideas, it isn't realistic. Human nature itself is what makes peace impossible. Our greed, selfishness, and sense of self-entitlement makes peace a pipe dream. Humans always look out for themselves first, and that means peace was doomed before it was even thought of. The problem here isn't the concept of peace, it's humanity. Humanity poisons everything it touches. We are a walking plague. We poison our planet. We poison our government. We poison our ideals. We infect everything we think of with our toxicity. So of course peace will always fail, because greedy humans found a way to exploit it for their own gain. This is the way it is. This is the way it has always been. And this is the way it will be long after everyone currently living on this planet passes into the void. The Bible preaches original sin. I don't know much about that. I don't think our inner monsters can be blamed on the tree of knowledge. However, there is definitely a seed of evil present in the human condition. We corrupt what we desire. We pervert what we love. We destroy what we create. We are the empty devils. We're sick, but we don't know it. But I know it. I have always known about the rot that eats at the human soul. I know all about the festering disease that will one day swallow us all whole. We will never make it to the stars. We will never make it off this planet. We will die here. We will die all by ourselves, helpless and alone. We will march towards our inevitable end without even questioning whether the path we are on is indeed the correct one. We will march forward until we march right off a cliff. Like lemmings, like lambs to a slaughter. Our fate was never in question. After all, we are a disease. We are a cancer of this planet. We are a plague. And the only cure is extinction. If you accept one thing in this life, it's the inevitability of despair and entropy. We will vanish one day, And when we disappear into the vast cosmic dark, what will be our legacy? Smartphones and social media that have made us more isolated than at any other time in history? Food that is so heavily processed that it cannot even be called food anymore? A politicized cognitive dissonance that results in a series of echo chambers where the mere idea of a dissenting opinion reduces us to screaming toddlers? A planet we failed to take care of, even though the methods of doing so have been obvious to us for over half a century. What do we have to show for all our trials and tribulations? What do we have to leave behind so that other life forms in the universe will know that we even existed? And of the things we have, which ones will show those other life forms the better angels of our nature? When I think about everything I've said here, nihilism becomes more and more palatable. If there is a God out there, he's not guiding our hands with the loving touch of a father. If there is a God, he abandoned us a long, long time ago. And we are still clinging to the faint hope that he might just come back and save us. No one is coming to save us from ourselves. If we don't make it count here on this speck of dust, then we will vanish and no one will ever know or ever care. And I think that's what used to scare me the most. What about you? Are you afraid? There is no one coming to save you. You will die here. You will die all by yourself. Honestly, at this point, I don't know why you care so much. We should have realized that this would be the result from the dawn of human civilization. Just a bunch of hairless apes marching ever forward towards their swiftly approaching doom, like lambs to a slaughter. Meaning schmeaning, the whole world's going bye-bye, you included. Why create when it will only be destroyed? Why cling to life knowing that you have to die? None of it will have meant anything once you do. Destruction is the only way to make life worth living. Life, dreams, hope. Where do they come from? And where do they go? None of that junk is enough to fulfill your hearts. Destroy! 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 Let's destroy everything! Justice and fate, ignorance and escapism, they never learn! They never listen! We're reaching the end of that path. There's no way to prevent it from happening now. This is our destiny. We've led ourselves to the inevitable end. This is how people think. You know it to be true. You all know it to be true, right? Why torment yourselves? When you find yourself locked onto an unpleasant train of thought, heading for the places in your head where the screaming is unbearable, remember, there's always madness. Madness is the emergency exit. You can just step outside and close the door on all those dreadful things that your mind haunts you with during the sleepless hours of your nocturnal thoughts. You can lock them away forever. After all, everything everybody ever struggled for, it's all a monstrous gag. So why can't you see the funny side? Why aren't you laughing? There's no hope for the universe. So in reality, insanity is the only sane response. When I saw what a black, awful joke the world truly was, I went mad as a hatter, and I encourage everyone to do the same. We aren't contractually tied down to rationality. There is no sanity clause. So remember, when your life becomes a grotesque carnival of unspeakable phantasms and gruesome revenants that will swallow you whole, if you so much as stumble, remember, there's always madness. And who knows, maybe you're all imaginary friends I created to deal with an abusive home life. Maybe you're all delusions, conjured up by my fractured psyche as a way to cope with the loss of a child. Maybe there's no one left on this earth at all, and I'm just talking to a wall while surrounded by a barren and desolate planet. If I have to accept a version of reality, I'd prefer that it be multiple choice. If you take anything away from this soliloquy, let it be this. All it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man on earth to lunacy. That's how far everyone is from where I am. Just one bad day. There, enjoy the everlasting agony of knowing the things I've known for most of my life. Savor it until your blood turns to dust. For now, I shall bid you adieu. You'll be seeing me again in about 1,000 years.